Hello everybody. We're going to work through these ratios on the top, and then we're going to do the fill in the blank or the puzzle and the missing pieces exercise down below. So let's start here with the profit margin. Profit margin is operating income or net income over sales, but here we just have operating income. So that's operating income divided by sales. It's expressed as a percent. And then asset turnover is sales over assets. It's expressed as a decimal, not a percent. Okay. Return on investment or return on assets is going to be your operating income or net income, depending on the version you're working on, over. And return on investment or return on assets, is another name for the same thing, is expressed as a percent. Now, residual income is a little fussier. You start with operating income and you subtract the capital charge. The capital charge is operating assets times the minimum required return, sometimes also called the target rate, the minimum rate, or the hurdle rate. So we're going to take assets, we're going to multiply it times that target return, and then we'll take operating income minus that capital charge. So in this case, residual income is negative. That doesn't mean that the company's unprofitable. They were profitable. They made $50,000 in operating income. They just didn't generate enough profit to cover that 11% hurdle. So their return was less than 11%. It would be zero right at 11%, and it would be positive above 11%. And we can copy these over, and the calculations will populate for all of those divisions. So let's look down here below. Now down here below, we're solving for sales. That means we have to find a ratio that includes sales in it, because of course we're given all these ratios down here, and solve for the missing piece. So I have this set up for you here. Profit margin, I could use other ones, but profit margin has sales in it. All right, and so for division A, I know an operating income because they gave that to me. And so sales is X, the thing I'm trying to solve for, and profit margin equals 12.5%. So that expressed as a decimal is 0.125. So now this 50,000 is 0.125. I can cross multiply X times the 0.125, so that's 0.125X equals 50,000, and then divide both sides by the 0.125. So I get 400,000. I'm going to format that nicely for you. There you go. So sales is 400,000. So now we want to solve for operating income. Well, we can use the same ratio here because it also contains, I just need one that has operating income in it in order to be able to do that. So operating income is my X in this case. And then sales, I know sales for B. And then they told me the profit margin is 15%, so that's 0.15. All right. And so X here, X times 1 equals 1 million times 0.15 cross multiplying. So X equals 1 million times the 0.15. So 150,000. For division C, I need a ratio that has average operating assets in it. Well, I can pick any of them, but I'm going to pick return on assets or return on income, same, or a return on investment. So they give us operating income, and then they tell us what the return on investment is. And so here I can cross multiply it, and I get 0.16x equal 100,000, and then I can divide that out. And the last one has more missing pieces, so I have to solve them in the order that's possible. So I've given operating income because that was part of the calculation of residual income, so I can just harvest that. And now I can use some of my ratios here to now solve it. I know that this 333 is repeating. If you put 0.0833, you'll get something about $200 different than mine, and that's okay. That's within rounding tolerance. Now I would cross multiply 0.08333 repeating times x equal 50,000, divide both sides. The 0.08333 repeating. I put the 33 so it'd be a nice round number, but if you get 600,000, 240 or something like that, it's just the rounding. Okay. All right, and so that gives me sales. And now I want to figure out the average assets. And I can use turnover or I can use return on investment. Both of them would solve for assets for me. Since I already have return on assets up here, I think I'll just go ahead and use it. And so that's what I'm solving for. And they said return on assets was, return on investment, 0.125. So 12.5%. So cross multiply and divide by the numerator. And so I get 400,000. All right, let me know if you have any questions.